The desperate call, the council chamber was filled with silence. Only the sound of damaged hollow screens buzzing could be heard. Leaders from different alien worlds sat in the circle, their faces pale, their eyes filled with fear. Outside, in the darkness of space, predator fleets burned through colonies, tearing apart defenses like paper. One elder spoke with a shaking voice. "Our fleets are gone, our armies broken, our children hunted. We have only one choice left." His hand moved over the control panel, and a signal burst out into the void, and SOS, a desperate call for help. It was sent with the last of their energy reserves, sent across unknown regions of the galaxy. Some whispered it was hopeless. No one would answer. Others prayed that some power would come. The chamber filled with argument. What if we only attract more enemies? What if no one hears us? What if someone hears, but it is worse than the predators? Fear spread like fire. They all knew the stories. Ancient whispers of the deathworlders, a species that once walked among the stars but then vanished. Legends said they were born on a violent world where storms crushed cities and beasts hunted men. They were called humans, but most thought they were myths. Now, with their worlds burning, some secretly wished the myths were real, because only a force like that could stop the predators. And yet even that wish carried danger. The signal flew through starless regions, through ruins of forgotten empires. Days passed, then weeks. Alien colonies fell one by one. Hope grew thin and still. No reply came. Then, one night in the outer system, an old scout station picked up movement. Tiny lights flickered at the edge of its sensors. A pattern too sharp, too ordered to be natural. The officer on watch leaned forward. His heart racing, he sent the data to the council. Within hours, news spread. Something is coming. Something is moving through the dark. The council gathered again, their faces tense. Could it be allies? One asked, or another enemy? Whispered another. The screens flickered, showing images, shadows of massive ships moving silently. Their hulls were scarred with marks of old battles. Their engines glowed faint, controlled, almost like predators stalking their prey. Fear returned to the room. No one knew who they were, but their silence was louder than words. The ships gave no signal, no code, no message. They simply advanced, slowly, but with purpose. Systems along their path reported strange readings, gravity spikes, weapon signatures, shields like walls of steel, one commander whispered. This is not a relief fleet, these are warships. The aliens waited, desperate for a hail, a sign of peace, but nothing came. Only the steady advance of dark shapes. Their numbers growing with each passing day, rumors filled the colonies. Some said it was the predators playing tricks. Others whispered the unthinkable. Humans, the deathworlders, have returned, the younger ones laughed nervously. Those are only stories, they said, but no one truly believed the laughter, because in the silence of space, those ships looked real. Too real, meanwhile. The predators continued their slaughter, yet even they began to hesitate. Scouts reported strange losses on the edge of their territory, entire hunting packs vanishing without trace. Predator admirals sneered, but in their private chambers, they worried. Back at the council, hope and dread mixed like poison. Maybe, just maybe, their SOs had been answered. But the question remained. Answered by whom? The alien leader who first sent the SOs stood again, his voice low. We asked for mercy. We asked for help. But the void does not give mercy. His eyes fixed on the shadows of the advancing fleet. It gives power, it gives fury. The chamber went silent. Every leader felt the same chill, as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Outside, the strange ships kept coming. No plea moved them, no message reached them. They marched like executioners toward the burning war zones. The predators prepared for battle. The survivors prayed for salvation, and all across the stars. One truth began to spread. The SOS had been heard, but it was not mercy that answered. It was something older, something stronger, something born from a death world the humans had returned, and they were bringing their fury with them. Shadows of Earth. The galaxy held its breath as the strange fleet moved deeper into known space. Reports arrived one after another. Stations at the edge of sectors whispered of silent giants drifting past. Alien merchants abandoned their trade routes. Terrified of crossing paths with the unknown ships, every image, every recording showed the same thing. Massive vessels, dark and scarred, their hulls patched like old warriors carrying wounds. They did not shine like the clean fleets of the Council. They looked heavy, brutal, built only for war in the Council chamber. The arguments grew louder. "We must contact them again," shouted one. "They ignore every hail, they answer nothing," replied another. "Perhaps they cannot understand us," a younger delegate suggested. But no one believed it because deep down, they knew. This silence was not ignorance. This silence was choice. Colonies began to panic. Families packed their homes, preparing to flee into the outer dark. Some prayed the ships would bring safety. Others whispered of conquest in the shadows of taverns and markets. One word spread faster than light. Humans, old myths, returned to life. Children whispered stories of a death world called Earth, a planet where volcanoes, storms, and beasts tested life every day, a place where only the strongest could survive. And those who did survive built machines of steel and fire. Most dismissed these tales for centuries. But now, as the fleet grew closer, no one dared laugh. Out in the dark, Predator admirals studied the incoming threat. Their claws clicked in nervous rhythm. They had ruled the galaxy through fear. But something about these ships made them uneasy. They looked into old archives, digging up forgotten warnings. Records written in dust spoke of a species banished. Or vanished. Humans, the Predator snarled. If these were the deathworlders, then war would not be simple in one sector. A lone alien scout ship dared to approach the silent fleet. Its captain trembled as he opened a channel. "Unknown vessels, this is the Council. Please identify yourselves, we seek peace." Only static returned. But then, a sound echoed through the comms. A deep hum, like thunder rolling across a world. The scout shivered, pulling back before his ship was torn apart by a sudden energy spike. He reported only 2 words to the Council. They listened. The fleet kept moving. Behind them, Predator scouts disappeared. Entire squadrons lost without trace. Wreckage was found drifting, shattered metal, twisted remains, no survivors. The Council grew restless. "Are they here to help us?" asked one voice. "Or to replace us?" asked another. No answer came. Only silence from the advancing ships. Then one night, the Council's deep sensors captured something terrifying. Hidden among the fleet was a vessel larger than any seen before. Its outline stretched across the stars. Its energy core burned like a sun. One word filled every heart: dreadnought. But this was not like any dreadnought the galaxy knew. Its weapons were silent, its shields steady, and yet even predators whispered in fear, because they felt the weight of a predator far greater than themselves. Colonies now faced a choice: trust these silent giants, or run before they arrived. But no matter where they fled, the fleet's course was clear. It was heading straight for the Predator Empire. Hope and fear twisted together. Some said salvation had come. Others said execution was on its way inside the flagship of the Predators. Their warlord roared, "Prepare every fleet! This threat will be crushed." But his eyes betrayed his fear. Because he had seen the recordings, he had studied the scars on those human ships, and he knew those scars were not of defeat. They were of survival. Across the galaxy, in quiet corners, whispers rose louder. They are not saviors. They are not allies. They are deathworlders. And they have returned, the SOS had been answered. Yes, but the shadows of Earth were moving, and they brought no promises, only silence, and the promise of war. Hook. The galaxy had begged for help. But what if the deathworlders had their own reason for answering? The fleet revealed. The day came when the shadows could no longer hide, in orbit of a dying star. The fleet appeared in full sight, scouts, merchants, and even predator warships froze as the giants revealed themselves. There were hundreds, maybe thousands, their hulls black, their frames jagged with scars of old wars. Each ship looked less like a machine and more like a beast forged in fire. Their weapons sat silent, but the silence was more frightening than open attack. For the first time, alien eyes studied the banners painted across those vessels. Strange symbols, marks of worlds unknown, and among them, one word carved into steel in a language long forgotten: Earth. The Council watched the live feed in shock. Some trembled, others whispered, "It is true." Humans, they were never myths. The Predators were the first to break the silence. Their warlord gave the order, "Open fire! Destroy them before they reach our heart," across the system. Predator ships unleashed volleys of plasma and fire. Stars lit with weapons, but the human fleet did not flinch. Shields rose like walls, absorbing the storm. And then, in a single breath, the deathworlders replied. Beams of light tore across the void. Entire Predator squadrons vanished in seconds. Ships that had ruled for centuries crumbled like glass. Alien commanders stared in horror. This is not war. This is execution. Inside the human dreadnought, captains gave no speeches. Their orders were short, cold. Target acquired, eliminate, move forward. Their voices carried no hate, only duty, and that duty was destruction. The council tried again to send messages. Humans, we called for help. We are not your enemies, but no reply came. Only silence, as if the humans were not here to answer, but to finish something left undone long ago. Predator fleets poured into the system, thousands of warships. Yet against the deathworlders they shattered like stone under lightning. Alien witnesses saw precision they could not believe. Human ships moved in formations that seemed like instinct. Their gunners never missed. Their shields never broke within hours. The Predators who once ruled the galaxy were running. Their warlord screamed across comms, "Fall back! Regroup! Do not let them reach the Empire core!" But even he knew it was too late. For the first time in living memory, Predators tasted fear, not the fear of losing a battle, but the fear of losing everything on Council worlds. Citizens gathered in the streets. Hollow screens replayed the destruction again and again. Children who once feared Predators now whispered a new word with awe and terror. Deathworlders. Still, some hoped. Maybe when the Predators were gone, the humans would finally speak. Maybe they would offer protection or peace, but others shook their heads. They had seen the human eyes in old records. Eyes of survivors. Eyes of warriors who trusted no one. As the fleet moved forward, wreckage trailed behind them, the Predators were broken. The Council was powerless, and the galaxy began to understand. The SOS had not brought allies. The SOS had awoken something sleeping, something that never forgot the galaxy's betrayal, something that returned not with mercy, but with fury. In the silence of the Council chamber, the Elder spoke again. We begged for help, and the Void answered, but we forgot. The Void has no mercy, and humans are the children of that Void. Hook. The Predators were falling, but the true question rose louder. What would the humans do once their fury was unleashed? Fury of the Deathworlders, the Predator Empire was burning. From one system to another, Deathworlder warships moved like storms. Wherever they appeared, silence followed. Planets once guarded by Predator fleets now floated with wreckage and ash. The Predators fought with desperation. They launched ambushes, traps, entire legions. But the humans cut through them like blades through water. Their tactics were cold and exact. Every move felt less like war and more like a cleansing. In the council chambers, leaders watched the chaos with wide eyes. Some cheered in secret. The Predators are falling. Finally falling, but others whispered with trembling voices. What if we are next? Because the humans never answered, they never spoke. They only destroyed. Alien refugees flooded council worlds. They told stories of shadows in the sky, of fleets appearing without warning, of Predator armies screaming before being erased in seconds. One child whispered to a reporter. They came from the dark, no light, no sound, only fire. They looked like monsters made of steel. The word spread quickly, and for the first time, the galaxy feared the humans more than the Predators. Inside the Predator throne world, their warlord gathered the last of his strength. Thousands of ships, fortified stations, planetary guns. He swore his empire would not fall. Let them come. We will drown them in fire. But when the humans arrived, the fire was useless. Their shields bent but never broke. Their weapons carved holes through fortresses in moments. The Predator throne itself shook as the Deathworlders advanced. Their dreadnought entered orbit larger than the sky itself. Its weapons glowed with terrible light. One blast erased an entire continent of Predator defenses. Millions gone in a second for the first time. The Predator warlord screamed not in rage but in fear. What are they? What are these monsters? No answer came, only silence and then fire. Back in the council chamber, fear turned to panic. They are not stopping, one delegate shouted. The Predators are nearly destroyed, yet the humans still advance. "Perhaps they do not fight for us at all," another whispered. "Perhaps they fight only for themselves." Whispers became terror when Council scouts reported new movements. Humans were not only striking predators, they were scanning neighboring systems, charting new routes, as if preparing for something greater. Some believed it was protection, that once predators were gone, the humans would guard the galaxy, but others saw the truth. The humans were not saviors. They were reclaimers. Reclaiming the galaxy that once abandoned them in the refugee camps, rumors grew darker. People said the humans remembered the betrayal, how the galaxy turned its back on them long ago, and now they had returned to settle the debt on one broken colony. Survivors reported a single message burned into the ruins by human weapons. 2 words only: "We remember." The predators were finished. Their empire torn apart, their fleets scattered like dust. But the humans did not stop. Their fury still burned. Their warships still moved. The galaxy trembled. Leaders asked the same question again and again. When the predators are gone, who will they turn to next? And in the silence, no one could answer. Hook, the predators were gone. But the galaxy began to realize the true storm had only begun. The deathworlders were not fighting for mercy. They were fighting for something much older and much more dangerous. The galaxy trembles, the predator empire was no more. Their throne world turned to ash. Their fleets broken, their warlord silent forever. But the deathworlder fleet did not stop. They kept moving, steady and cold. Council leaders gathered in fear. They have destroyed the predators. What more do they want? No one had an answer because the humans gave no words. Only action, one by one. Human ships entered systems near Council space. Not to attack, not to burn, but to scan, to map, to watch. Their presence alone was enough to freeze entire worlds with terror. In refugee camps, survivors told stories that spread like wildfire. They did not ask for thanks. They did not take slaves. They did not even look at us. They only moved forward, as if we were nothing. Whispers grew louder. Maybe we made a mistake. Maybe the SOS should never have been sent. Then, without warning, a message came. Not through council channels, not through trade beacons, but burned into the void itself. A single transmission every ship could hear. A voice deep, calm, and terrifying. "We did not come for mercy. We did not come for alliance. We came because you called. And when you called, you reminded us we remember." The galaxy froze. Those words carried weight older than empires. Older than predators, they carried anger, loss, and a memory of betrayal. Council records whispered of the past. How long ago? When humans still walked among the stars, they asked for aid during their darkest hour. And the galaxy turned away, leaving them to burn on their death world. To struggle, to fight, to survive alone. Now, the survivors of that world had returned, not as allies, not as beggars, but as rulers of steel and system after system. Predator strongholds were erased, but humans also left silent warnings on abandoned worlds, symbols carved into stone and metal, marks that said, "We are watching." The council tried to speak again, to offer alliance, trade, even surrender, but the humans never answered. They only moved their fleets, closer and closer to the heart of the galaxy, on one world. An old alien priest looked up at the night sky. He whispered to his people, "We thought we begged for angels, but we summoned ghosts. And ghosts do not forgive." Fear turned into silence. Markets shut down. Fleets stayed in dock, because everyone knew the truth. The predators were gone, but the deathworlders had taken their place in the council chamber. The elder who first sent the SOS sat in silence, his eyes heavy with regret. "We called them," he said softly. "We opened the door," and then he whispered the truth none dared to say. "The galaxy is theirs now. From the darkness of space, the human fleet spread like fire. Not conquering, not enslaving, just existing. Their presence alone was enough to bend the galaxy. And so the galaxy trembled, for in answering the SOs, they had not summoned saviors. They had awakened the fury of Earth, and nothing would ever be the same again.